included you all in her will.
I don't want anything of hers.
Not even $100,000?
$100,000?
There's a phone upstairs with a number next to it. You call it. You stay on the phone for 1 minute. Then the money will be yours in the morning.
Who are we calling?
My wife. She had me bury a phone with her.
Going somewhere?
She wants to talk to you.
Where are you? When I made the call, it was like I was transported.
We're all gonna suffer!
Get on the phone. Devastating to her.
What do you want?
Vengeance.
Hey guys, I'm Randy Unger, and this is another edition of Unger the Radar, where we talk all things film. And right now with me, via Zoom, I've got director Timothy Woodward Jr. of the new horror film, The Call. Timothy, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. It's an exciting day. We open up today nationwide, and we're really excited. So today's a good day.
Yeah, it's a fun film. It's well acted. It's scary. Tell me, how did the project originally come about?
Well, first of all, thank you for the compliments on that. I appreciate that. So how the project originally came about, I got contacted by Gina Rugolo, who is Lynn Shay's manager. Lynn and I had worked together on The Final Wish and had a great rapport, along with Jeffrey Reddick. And so Gina came to me with this script and said, it's a great idea. Lynn and I are both producing. We'd love for you to direct it. So I read it. I liked the material. I thought a few things, we needed to punch up a little bit. And then I met with the writer, the producer, Lynn, Gina, all at one time. They kind of really, they were passionate about it. They wanted to get made. They pitched me on it, and I was in. I wanted to work with Lynn again. So I was in immediately. And then I thought about, hey, let me bring in Jeffrey Reddick, who I've got a great relationship with, who did at Final Destination, and, have him kind of help us guide a few things here and there and help me with the producing. And, we were off to the races.
It's awesome. Awesome. What was it like working with horror icons Lynn and Tobin?
Well, this is my second time working with Lynn, and she's, in one word, she's a rock star. I mean, that's really the truth. She is such an incredibly sweet lady, such a talented actress, and such a giving soul. I mean, there's not a moment where you're going to catch Lynn Shay sleeping at the wheel. There's not a moment where you're going to catch her phoning it in. She's going to give you everything she's got. And so that's incredible to me. As far as Tobin, you're talking about, he could read a book and I would just sit there and listen to it because his voice is so amazing. But just, again, such a gifted actor. And he had a scene that was extremely long. There was a lot of parts to it. We were moving him all around the room and a lot of things that had to happen in that scene. However, on his takes, it was just go. And, he slam dunked it. He came in and he not only did the scene, he owned the scene. And it was just incredible to watch him and watch there's one thing about delivering words. There's another thing about just being in every single moment of the scene. And we didn't have to search for reactions. We didn't have to search for, takes. We got it every time. And that's amazing. That's an incredible gift for a director to have that ability in the edit room to know, like, we just got a lot of really good takes. And he was solid every time.
That's great. And so that level of professionalism is very hard to come by. I'm curious, what was it like assembling the rest of the cast?
We were really trying to find contrast between each person. So Chester Rushing was the first person that we went to as far as the younger cast is concerned.
Okay.
And Chester was, he was somebody who I had produced a film with before and knew his work from Stranger Things, but he just has this vulnerability about him that makes him really good as an anchor point and to play our character of Chris. Mm-hmm. So we went to him first, then we went to Aaron. And then we went to Mike, and we went to Sloan. Mm-hmm. You're freezing up now.
I see you're frozen on my end.
Oh yeah, you're frozen too on mine. There, better? Sorry,
yeah. Sorry.
Sorry about that. I normally don't have this problem. I don't know what's going on with my internet. might be peak time or something. I don't know. But you know, so we went to Chester first, then we went to Aaron, then it was Mike, then it was Sloan, because we wanted to find the bigger brother, younger brother. But we were lucky to get all of them. I mean, because we looked at a lot of people, and I waited until probably the last possible minute to cast them, because I wanted to make sure we had the right people for the job. And then as far as Judd, who plays the father, Gina Rugolo represented him, came to me, and you know, he was perfect right off the bat, and just such a talented actor. So yeah,
That's great. I love it when teamwork is very present on a set.
all day.
Yeah, it's the best. So I'm just want to switch gears a little bit. What were some challenges you guys faced on set?
I think anytime you're doing, you know, you got a limited budget, you've got a limited shoot space, you're dealing with a lot of nights. You're dealing with spaces and locations that you have to kind of block out and shoot. And so you're trying to figure out, hey, how can I make this happen here instead of here? I think one of the challenges, the big ones, we could only, you know, we had that carnival for one day. And it's a big scene. And, you know, we have 2-3 scenes there. And, you know, it was a matter of trying to rotate the extras in and out to make it feel big, get that steady cam shot going all the way through, and then, you know, make it feel alive, create this town basically in 2 scenes, which was the school scene and then the carnival. So that scene was originally written where they were walking down the street having this conversation. But for me, I said, let's show it in another way that makes you automatically think of small town 80s and gives you that feel. So that was challenging. And there's a lot of parts of this. I mean, we pushed really, really hard to get the best stuff I think we could get under the circumstances. So there was a lot of challenging scenes for sure. Figuring out, you know, the transitions in and out of the call world, making it feel fluent, you know, finding that rhythm and flow while shooting as well. So yeah, a lot of things, but it's great to do.
Yeah. Was it difficult going back to the 80s, like assembling the cars, the sets, the props? What was that process like?
Yeah, you know, I'm lucky. I've got a great production designer. I've got a good producing team that really reached out to some people about the cars. And, you know, we got a great deals on them. Everybody was friendly and nice who came in with their cars, the collectors. And, you know, we tried to do everything as efficient as possible as far as shooting it where we said, okay, look, we're going to need cars these days so we can afford 20, 30 cars here and here. But this is what it is. This is how we got to do it. So we tried to be as careful of that with extras and cars and everything else as we could. The wardrobe was one of the key wardrobe, the hairstyles that really helped sell it. You know, and so I wouldn't say it's as difficult as it seems. I've done 1920s, a gangster movie. I did a Western. Those are a little more difficult, but it's definitely a challenge because you can't show anything modern anywhere you look. You know, you can't go out and show you can't just shoot on the street and show a 2010, you know, vehicle or anything. So you really have to, every frame has to be dressed for that.
And that level of detail is really good. So I commend you on that, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So I'm curious, in your opinion, what makes an effective horror film?
I think you got to have, number one, characters, no matter what, characters, you have to have reason and purpose. You know, and I think suspense is extremely big. And I think a great antagonist makes a lot. But I think more, I'm really psychological horror. So I like the psychology behind it and what you don't necessarily have to see, but what really frightens us internally. You know, that's what I think makes a great horror movie. But, you know, if you care about the person and the people and they're in danger, that's horror. Yeah. You know, no matter if it's someone holding a gun and they're around the corner and they're getting ready to do it, or if it's a demon that's here, you want to see them through their struggle.
Right. Good answer. So what do you hope audiences take away from The Call?
You know, I'd like to do another one. First, you know, I like the world of it, the creation of it. I think that, you know, it's be careful how you treat people, number one. But I think, you know, you want audiences to be entertained for an hour and a half, to forget about everything that's going on here, and to imagine about, you know, what would it be like to go to a place and have to live a loop of your worst nightmares, your worst dreams, and, you know, these things that can happen. So, you know, I hope that it's got that feel and that vibe where it makes you go, okay, this is cool.
Yeah, and I hope to see another one because this definitely has potential for a
Thank you.
franchise.
That's what we were hoping. We had a lot of fun doing it, and a lot of stuff we were making up. We came up with a lot of things on the fly with the rules for the world and trying to figure out how to do it with the 80s cars and just everything. But I had a lot of fun. I love doing it, and I think you could, it can extend into another decade, other things. There's a lot of ideas we have with it, so I hope that people like it.
Cool. Okay. I'm curious.
Oh yeah, and there's some spoilers in there. So I was going to say something that we did not fully see at the end. You'll look out for it though. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No spoilers here. So I'm curious. Who are some of your filmmaker influences?
Oh man, Martin Scorsese, Francis Ford Coppola. Wes Craven.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many. Just put me on the spot.
I even got a little John Carpenter in this film.
Yeah, no, I definitely. Of course, John Carpenter. And that was, we were gearing that with this film. But Steven Spielberg, all day. The youthfulness, the imagination of his stuff always is incredible. There's so many, man. It's tough to. I even there's a guy, Wayne Kramer, who did Running Scared. I freaking love that movie. And his transitions were incredible. And there's actually a really good director right now, a young guy who did House on Haunting on Hill House.
Okay.
And God, that whole series, the transitions in and out are incredible.
I've heard it's really, really good.
I think he's highly underrated. That guy could teach a master class in transitions and suspense.
Well, I think you can teach one too.
One day, man. I'm continuing to try to grow. But thank you for saying that.
Yeah. And aside from filmmaking, I know that you're also an accomplished actor. Do you prefer one world over the other?
Yeah, I used to act a lot more. I don't really do as much anymore. I direct, I produce, and I just, I got an Emmy nomination for writing too this year. So that was good. I like directing because I like creating. I like being, I like the pressure is big, but I just like watching other people a little bit more, I think, than even doing it. I thought at first that, I like to play dress up. I want to escape. But for me, it's like that whole world behind and being able to make magic happen. It's like being able to draw this perfect picture. It's amazing to be able to do that. And that sense of accomplishment is what I like. So for right now, I'd say directing. That could change at any point in time, but directing, I think.
Cool. You're a very creative person. And, I look forward to seeing more of your work. Are there any upcoming projects you can talk about?
We're trying to get back into, we did a show for Amazon that's called Studio City that was nominated for eight Daytime Emmy Awards.
Nice.
I got Best Directing, Writing, and Producing. And we got Best Digital Series. So it's we're looking at a season 2 of that. I've got a Pretty Boy Floyd movie that's came up that, is potentially going to shoot. And then another thriller that is, it's really cool. That's written by Sean Ryan, who's a friend of mine. And, we're looking at what we can make go next. And I'm obviously interested in staying in this genre and playing a little bit and doing some more stuff,
Okay. And you know what? I asked this of all actors, filmmakers. Obviously we're in a pandemic. How has that affected your work and your creative process?
Oh, it affects it a lot. Everything takes longer. It's hard for planning because you just don't know what you can and can't do. There's also the concern for safety for other people. With this one, I think the biggest thing that the challenge was we finished shooting the movie before lockdown happened, right before. My editor had done a couple of passes while he was on set and a little bit more of the movie, but that was really all he could do at that point. So I had to bring all the gear to my house, and I lived with this like it was a baby in my next room for months. So I would wake up at 12 o'clock at night, come in here and edit. So I had 35 different versions of scenes where it was driving him crazy. So we were trying to send back and forth files and finding a way to upload. And as you could tell, even now I've got a great connection, but you see how it just dropped out on us at one moment.
Right.
So it's like, imagine doing 20 gigabyte files fast and trying to get notes across and not having that personal, being able to have someone next to you, at least for the first half of the movie. For the first half of the movie, I had no one really next to me while I was doing my cut at all. The second half, Wayne was able to come in with a mask on and work with me a little bit for, the second half of the movie. But the first half was really just, it was me locked in the zone, sending out clips, but I had to pretty much do, and I'm not fast with the keyboard. I'm not quick like him, so it's like, I'm like drag a frame, drop, everything is done manually. There's no quick shortcuts. So yeah.
Desperate times call for desperate measures,
It's whatever it takes to get it done,
No, and you did a great job, Timothy.
Thank you.
Now I'm curious, how can people see the call? How is it?
Okay, so it's opening up actually today as the opening day. It's playing in a few hundred theaters. It's they can go to thecallmovie.com, and it has every theater that's listed with every state for this opening weekend. We're hoping that it does well enough where we can expand further than that. There is a lot of restrictions for several states for indoor theaters, so that's why some of these states aren't playing. However, we are playing in LA in drive-ins. Like in Texas, I think we're playing at like 51 theaters in Texas, for example, because Texas is more open, and Florida just called and they want more theaters. So we wanted to support the smaller theater chains and some of the bigger ones as well. And, in theaters right now is the only way you can see it. In theaters or in a drive-in. So it's exclusively there for a while.
And where are you located right now?
Los Angeles.
Okay, great. Well, Timothy, the film is great. I will hope everyone gets to see it, and I have a really good feeling it'll have a cult following.
Thank you so much. And again, I appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and I hope everybody else does. I hope everybody sees that we're just trying to make something happen and entertain people, and we busted our butts to try to make it get out during this pandemic so people could have something to enjoy,
There you go. It's a fun movie, and everyone should definitely see it. Timothy Woodward Jr., thank you so much for your time today. The film is great, and best of luck. Stay safe.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.